Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. I am Taco. This is my Song of Ice and Fire series, and we are talking about Daemon Sand. That's right. He's a sand, not a sand snake. He's a sand. Snakes are males too, so he's a male sand snake. He's not a sand snake. He's a sand hand. There we go. He's not. He's got a hand on his sigil. Okay, well, not his sigil. Welcome. If you've never been here before, welcome. Please like and subscribe. My name's Taco. I yell a Song of Ice and Fire lore at you. I cover lesser known characters. This guy's a little lesser known. I'm really happy I found this entry. He's pretty interesting, and he's one of those guys that kind of sneaks by you. If you it probably took me like 2 or 3 listen throughs because I don't read well. Tell them like, what's up with Daemon Sand? So they're covering Daemon Sand. I do all these in one big long take. I don't edit. I just yell. Some people like it, some people don't, and that's it. So I do have these cards here to kind of keep me on track. Besides that, a lot of this is just off the cuff improv. And let's go. Let's talk about Daemon Sand. Daemon Sand, known as the Bastard. I hope the word bastard's okay. I'm going to say it a lot in this video. I'm going to say it a lot this week because I'm covering another bastard later this week. All right, I'll just tell you. Maya Stone. Yeah. All right. She's a much bigger character than this. Daemon Sand, known as the Bastard of God Grace. He is the bastard son of Ryan, Alarion, Alarion. What do I say? I don't know. Alarion? All right. Alarion. Oh, Alaron. There we go. The heir. So he's the son of Ryan, the heir of House Alarion. The knight is he is one of the Dorne's finest swords. God, I'm getting all tongue tied already. So he's one of Dorne's finest swords. Damon is handsome with a strong jaw. Look at that jaw. Sky blue eyes. Ooh. And light sandy brown hair. Nice. He also has a close cropped beard and dimples when he smiles. So just a hot, dreamy dude. That's what I wrote. What's up? That's this guy. He's a hot bastard. All right. So he's not, legally part of this house, but for the second slide, I always cover a house. So I'm going to cover the house that he's a part of. And he isn't, bastards had a lot of different rights. He essentially did grow up there. He wasn't legitimized by any means, but he was like, what word am I looking for? Recognized. he was honored. He grew up there, right? So it's not like Maya Stone, who's just off in the Vale. Like, no, these guys are, he kind of grows up with them, right? So House Alarion of God's Grace is a major Dornish noble house. God's Grace sits near the confluence of the Scourge and the Vaith into the Green Blood. So where a bunch of rivers connect. Their blazon is a golden hand on grimy red and black. Their words do not appear in the books, according to semi-canon sources. They are "no foe may pass," and that's very Gandalf of them. Yeah, it's very "you shall not pass." It's very Gandalfy, and also their hands are like, "No, don't move, stop." That's what that hand's saying. House Alarion was founded by Andal adventurers during the coming of the Andals to Dorne, along with houses like Jordan, Martell, Corgal, Santagar, Uller, and Vaith. So they're not a old man house that stayed, or first man house. Old man, I'm an old man. First man house that stayed in Dorne. They're Andal adventurers that came down before the Roinar showed up. So yeah. All right, let's get into his life. Young love. Damon is not much older than Princess Arianne Martell. He took her maidenhead when they were both 14. It's kind of young. No judgment. It's just, I haven't lost my idea. I haven't lost my maidenhead at all. I'm kidding. Of course I have. All right. and that their couplings have been both clumsy and ordent. Par for the course for the first time. Yeah, clumsy for sure. Arianne recalls that it had been sweet, although her father, Doran, Prince of Dorne, eventually learned of this, but he did not react to it. Yeah, the guy who doesn't act didn't react to it. Duh. That's Daemon Martell for you. Damon asked Doran for Arianne's hand, but was refused. Well, yeah, you're a bastard, and she's a princess. It's rough all over. The relationships between Damon and Arianne were never the same after. Yeah, I mean, as much as I feel for this guy, and it really did seem like they had some pretty good young love. Like if it wasn't for this horrible class society that's very classist, and if you're lowborn, if you're a bastard of bad blood, all this crap. If it was just like today, well, there's still class bullshit, but you know what I mean. It sounded like this would have been a good relationship if the world wasn't so horrible. All right. Let's get to the next. So Oberyn Martell's Squire. So this guy's actually is from the show, but he's not a big part of the show. I've been covering more characters from the show just because I instead of making a hard rule of not covering characters from the show, I'm covering characters most people wouldn't know from them, because there's a lot of blinkety miss some characters from the show that are really interesting, like Daemon Sand, that if I just like, oh, he's in the background in this scene, I can't use him. Nah, screw that. I want to cover some cool characters. Excuse me. I hiccuped, I think. Maybe I'm having a stroke. Damon squired for Prince Oberyn Martell and received his knighthood from the Red Viper himself. And there are rumors that he also became Oberyn's lover. Wow. Though this is seldom said to his face, I don't blame either of them. No, they're both pretty odd. So if he was Oberyn's lover, that would make Oberyn Martell and his niece, Arianne Martell, Eskimo brothers. Woo, that's some funny stuff. All right. No judgment. Just saying it's funny. But so that's how it is in their family. All right, that's a Ferris Bueller joke. Sir Damon is part of the nobles and knights that accompany Prince Oberyn Martell to King's Landing to take Prince Doran's place on the small council. Tyrion is accused of killing King Joffrey. You remember that? And Oberyn decides to champion Tyrion's cause. Remember that? In a trial by combat. Remember that? Damon and Lord Dagos Manwoody, best name of all time, attend the Red Viper for his fight against the Mountains. So that's what this shot is here. This is show version of Damon attending him for his fight before the Mountain. And yeah, so he was there squiring for him. I wonder how that fight went. Does he remember? Does he remember how the fight between Oberyn Martell and Gregor Clegane went? After Oberyn's head-crushing death at the hands of Sir Gregor Clegane, he crushed his head. Damon sends a bird, most likely a raven, to Sand Snake Nymeria Sand, telling of the fates of her father and the mountain. So when Damon returns to Dorne, he is swiftly imprisoned by Doran for demanding that that the already imprisoned sand snakes be set free. Okay, what did I say? So he warns them. They go freak out, started asking for war. They start getting things all riled up. And then Doran Martell locks up all the sand snakes, and then eventually Arianne, because of the Queenmaker plot, right? And then Damon shows up and he's like, hey. And Doran's like, hey. It's like, where is everybody? It's like, oh, well, we imprisoned all the sand snakes. I don't like that. I think you should free him. Good plan. Lock him up too. That's what happened. All right. So Doran frees Damon, Obara, Tyene, and Nymeria Sand, all the sands. Free the sands. The knight is present at the feast where Sir Balon Swan of the Kingsguard arrives in Sunspear to deliver the mountain's skull. So they all get freed. And then Balon Swan shows up with a really big skull. We don't know whose skull it is. I'm not a theory guy over here, but it's either his or, I don't know, somebody else's big old skull. But what skull's on the mountain? There's a lot of those theories out there. Rob Stark's skull is on the mountain. That's my vote. Rob Stark's head's on the mountain. I love that theory. Okay, so Balon Swan shows up, Kingsguard member. He's like, here's a big head, and everyone's like, okay, thanks. I mean, you could have just brought a card. And then they all sit and they feast. And yeah, so Ario, because that's who, he's the Watcher. This is the chapter from Dance of Dragons, The Watchers, where all this happens. So he's watching everybody because it's Ario Hotan. That's what he does. I watch things. Arya notices that Damon is among the group that isn't drinking the wine. And he also notes that if there will be trouble, it'll come from that group. So there's one group that's just like, I don't want any wine. And then he's like, they're going to start some crap. So they didn't. So when Rincasso, that's his name, Ricasso, I'm adding an N. Ricasso raises a toast to King Tommen Baratheon. Damien declines the toast. I mean, that's how you get noticed. Or maybe he's like, hey, I wasn't drinking it all anyways. They're like, cool, to the king. He's like, sorry, I'm not in the wine mood. Not in the wine mood. Sure, buddy. All right, and then so that's it. That's where it ends in the books. We're going to talk about what is in Winds of Winter, and then some predictions. So, but that's it all the way to Dance of Dragons. And yeah, like I said, I think he's a pretty cool character because he was there with Oberyn, and he also was kind of tied in a little bit with the Sand Snake stuff. Not as much. I will cover a character, or two that are more in line with that stuff. But yeah, so now we're going to get to Dance of Dragons or Winds of Winter. And I usually like to do a little disclaimer like I'm doing right now before I cover Winds of Winter stuff, because since the book's not out yet, unless it's in the future and the book is out, how is it? Since the book's not out yet, I don't know how he's going to change things. And I know a lot of people quote Winds chapters like it's gospel, and they can. Maybe it won't be changed at all. I don't know. But I'm still saying what's coming up next is Winds of Winter and then some predictions. See? Winds of Winter preview and predictions. So in sample chapters of Winds, Damon becomes the sworn sword to Princess Arianne Martell, traveling with her and her companions to Ghost Hill while sailing across the Sea of Dorne to Cape Wrath. Damon defeats Arianne in a game of Syvass. This might be symbolism that she cannot play the Game of Thrones. Okay, what did I just say? So they're playing like a game of chess, which is like Syvass. It's not really chess, but it kind of is, right? And there's a lot of people think that whoever's winning and how good they're doing at Syvass shows how good they are at the greater Game of Thrones, right? Like Tyrion's pretty good at Syvass. Like he's really good at Syvass and he's decent at playing the game. I don't think a lot of people put him as like one of the top game players. Tyrion's fine. He's a fine game player, in my opinion. So this might be symbolism that Arianne's gonna fail, is that Damon beats her at Syvass. That's what I think, at least. There is a theory on Westeros.org by Haas the Hostage. So I do go and try to find people's theories. I don't, whenever it's tied into a character, I don't really put up my own much unless they're like Clayton Suggs is a secret Targaryen. It's true. Is that taken off yet? But I try to cite them and I bring them up and I say how I feel about them. So, yeah. So, Hosty Hostage that Doran picked Damon as a honeypot. So knowing that John Con loved Rhaegar, and so then maybe sexy Damon is there to seduce him. I don't buy that, and I don't. So some people think that that's why he was there. Like, oh, we'll send Damon, and maybe he can like seduce John Con. I don't buy that. For one, I don't think John Con is physically, like, he was into Rhaegar, but I don't think it was because Rhaegar was beautiful. I think it was because, like, I don't think it was because he was physically attracted to him. I think he was in love with him because he's, like, Rhaegar Targaryen, like he's just perfect in every way. So I think that just any dude with blue eyes that bats his eyes at him, John Conn's not just gonna, oh, maybe, I don't know. But we haven't really seen that. John Conn seems so business that I don't see it happening. I don't think Doran would, I don't think that's the plan. Maybe it is, I don't know. I might see that Doran sent Damon specifically for his love for Arianne, and then he might be trying to make him kill Aegon in a jealous rage, maybe, but probably not. Probably not. But yeah, that would be my other thought. Well, if maybe he wants that plot to not work, because maybe he's like thinking, oh, the Quentin plot's gonna work. So maybe Aegon gets killed and he sends Damon. So when Aegon gets closer to Arianne, maybe Damon flips and kills him. I don't see that either. That's another one. But yeah, I don't know. But I'm really curious to see how his plot goes. I don't think it's gonna go those places, but he's tied in with Arianne, and I do think that Damon's gonna have a bigger part. Like I think they're setting him up to be a bigger character. But yeah, there you guys go. 16 minutes, not too bad. And click like, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think and what you think of this character and who from Dorne should I cover. That's it. You guys have a good day, and I don't have a good one for this. Don't get imprisoned. Yeah, that's a good one. Don't get imprisoned. All right. Peace.